humor her, you know. I
Sorry.
didn't I didn't really think it, I was like, she's really psyched about this, so I'll go. And my first experience, I can remember the first person I met there, and then how everyone after that was just welcoming and open. And it was just like such a memorable experience. And obviously, because, we started in the 94 and 95, and we're still here. So and we're hoping that's what'll happen to every one of you as
Right.
well.
Well, the
Um,
thing that after the one summer, Dennis Dewey pulled me into this to begin with. And then and Tom Boomershine, both of them pulled me into this. And when I got home, you don't know Shelley yet, but some of you really know her. She's a very loquacious person. She has, she has, like my grandson says, I have a lot of words. Well, Shelley really has a lot of words. So after I experienced the network and all the stories and all the relationships with the people, I'm saying, Shelley has to come. So I said, Shelley, you have to come because I found out what you are. You're a storyteller.
And I just want to just decode. Dennis Dewey was a longtime ambassador for the network and retired now, Presbyterian pastor. But he really is responsible for reaching out to a lot of people, getting people to come to the conference. And then Tom Boomershine is the founder of the network. So just so you don't, if there's anything like that, any name dropping that we do, we'll try to keep that straight. Now, the way we thought we would go about this is we've introduced ourselves. We have more board members here present than we have first timers. So, board members, we'd like you to introduce yourself briefly and tell your position. And ambassadors, we've got ambassadors here as well. Just a little quick thing because we want to hear more. Then we're going to ask the first time attendees to introduce themselves, and we want to hear more from them than from you guys, as much as we love you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ruth,
Yeah, I'll be happy to
I've
start.
got you first.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm Ruth Ellsbury, and I live in Marietta, Georgia, which is near Atlanta. I've been a member of the network since 2019, which was my first conference, and I loved it. I attended ABS and also ABS for the master's certificate in 2021 and 2022. And now I'm serving on the board as membership chair.
And we'll decode what ABS means
Oh, right.
later. Kevin, I got you next.
Okay, I'm Kevin Bailey. I'm a retired pastor from the Presbyterian Church as well, a lay pastor, a CRE we call ourselves, Commissioned Ruling Elders. And I've been coming to the conference since 2012. I learned about it in one of the courses I took in preparation for ministry, which was biblical storytelling taught by Dennis Dewey. So he kept giving me the magazine that we used to produce, and of course, it advertised the conference. And so when I first started my ministry in 2011, I said, I'm going. And so my wife and I made a trip out of it. We visited family down in Tennessee, North Carolina. And so that's how I wound up at my first conference in 2012. And it changed my life. Phyllis Tickle was there, and her it changed my life. I finally found out who I was. I'm an emergent Christian. I didn't know that before. I just had all these feelings, and she described it so well. So that's a name to look up. She's passed on, but her work is still out there if you want to look her up.
Jim, I've
And
got
I'm
you.
the communications dude.
Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot to tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Jim, I have you next.
Okay. I'm Jim Sterner. I'm the secretary on the board and the Epic telling wrangler, and you'll find out more about that too as we go along. But my first ABS, not ABS, my first conference was in 2002. And coming from New York with Eric Aldifer, everybody wanted to know all about 9/11 because it was 2002. And the good news is I've been coming ever since, although I did miss 3 summers. So just know that we're not crazy, that we haven't drunk Kool-Aid or put on orange robes, that there are summers where we don't come because we can't or we have other things to do. But Eric and I, we drove from New York City, the Upper West Side, our church, West End Collegiate, all the way to Atlanta. And we laughed and we laughed and we laughed. And we ate at all those chain restaurants that aren't in New York City, Olive Garden. And we laughed and we laughed. And then we went to the festival gathering. And then on the way home, we just laughed at those people. We thought they were so funny. Weren't they so weird? And the minute the invitation came out in March to do it again, we signed up immediately. So we got the last laugh, I guess. But we thought, boy, those people are crazy. They're really weird. But then we came back and I was in the epic telling my 2nd year, and so was Eric, and we just got involved. And Eric has now passed on, but he will always be remembered. And anyway, I could go on forever because I'm the secretary and I record the history, but I will stop right here.
Great
Carol,
job.
you want to go next?
Me? Thank you.
Yes.
In case you haven't picked up on the accent, I live in Australia and travel over to the States. This will be my 12th conference, and I started coming in 2006 with a work colleague who has passed on too, died recently. But that was our first experience, and it was fabulous. And I knew I'd found my tribe. And so it's worth my investment that I come as often as I can, and certainly have been in the last 4 years, but mostly every second year I was able to make it and meet with these fabulous friends I've made overseas. Thank you.
But tell us your job.
Oh, sorry, I forgot about that. And well, I co-chaired the Australian network after I heard Dennis Dewey, and we had Tom and Amelia come out and visit, and Pam Farrow, and we started a fledgling Australian network of biblical storytellers, which has since faded, unfortunately. But it was then I realised it was better for me to go to America to hear in the main conference how I was fed every year in my faith by that. And I'm a member of the board, and I'm the programs chair. So
that's kind of important. Carol is program chair for the whole conference. So
yeah.
Anything you like, see her.
She's
I know
it's probably
has Evelyn managed to get here, because I know she's leading one of the work. I'm also the worship coordinator. So if you have any feedback, I'm also pleased to see that once you've experienced it. But I know Evelyn is one of our leaders for worship day 2, I think.
I don't see her.
No, okay.
And Jim Stahl, you are muted.
Yep.
But yep.
I'm Jim Stahl, married to Janet, and we live in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It's we're not Moravian, but it's the Moravian Church's international headquarters. We started our first NBS gathering. It was called a gathering before, in 2007. And I think we only missed 1 year since then. It was also in the Atlanta area. And we do biblical storytelling as part of our work. We work with Wycliffe Bible translators, part of Wycliffe Bible translators, called the Seed Company. And they asked us to come up with a method to engage people who don't have a Bible translation in their language, to start with storytelling. And so we figured out, we better learn what biblical storytelling is all about. So we went to NBSI to learn, and we've been doing that ever since.
Mm-hmm.
And
Janet, since you two are kind of, you know, have the same last name, do you want to add anything?
Hi to Julie. Julie and I have been corresponding. um, but
yeah, hi to
uh,
Scott.
yeah, I think for those who are new, well, and those are I love the network because it's such a great mix of creative, artistic people who are passionate in that area, amazing Bible scholars, as well as those who have a heart for ministry and are the people. And so you get to rub shoulders and interact with all the different types during the conference and throughout the year. So I hope you all enjoy it.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that, Janet, because we are a very ecumenical
Mm.
group. I think, and if anybody disagrees here or has more to add, I think we really are more about just the story and sharing what we have in common. What we hear in the story could be very different based on the faith traditions we come from, but I mean, in my experience, the network has been the most ecumenical and accepting Christian organization I've ever belonged to. I go to a Presbyterian church, and I always say, we can't even get the Methodists to come to events, much less, other Presbyterian churches, much less the Methodists. I mean, so um, that's a really great thing about the network. Yeah.
Yeah, for a while there were a couple of rabbis
Yeah.
that were
Yep.
attending.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I'm going to
And
end
we
with
had some very nice Catholics come through the door.
Mhm.
We still do.
Thank you,
Carol.
Whoa, wait, see that?
Ruth.
I'm going to ask Tonya. Do you
And
like
Jean.
Tanya or Tonya? Tanya. Tanya.
Tanya.
Don't worry,
Tanya.
everybody pronounces it different. I'm Tanya. Is how.
Tanya.
Like
Okay.
Tanya.
Yeah. So I'm Tanya Isa. I am a Lutheran pastor. I just took a new call, and I am in Fairbanks, Alaska. Not quite as far as Carol, but it's going to be a day of traveling when I come in a week or so. And let's see. I started coming to the when it was still called Festival Gathering. Started coming in 2013, and I think Kevin, you were one of the first people that I met there.
Yeah.
And Kevin and I kind of latched onto each other. I think if I remember, he was a friendly face in this new crowd. What I remember about that conference, what got me hooked was the epic telling that year was First Corinthians. And I remember Shelley and Mary Beth got that weird chapter with the head of the man, the female as the man, and all that. And they were doing this weird thing with mannequin heads. I remember the mannequin heads.
I'll go get them right now if you don't mind.
But it's a weird thing that First Corinthians is what got me hooked. But it did. You guys got me hooked
Wow.
with that. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So right now, I think I missed a couple of gatherings, but I've been coming more or less since 2013, and I am heading up the guilds, which again is inner conference speak, but these are smaller groups of people that meet in between the conferences to kind of encourage one another during the year to tell biblical stories. And we've got some very active groups doing some great things in different parts of the country. And we've got a couple of online groups, and it's great. So, yeah.
Shelley, Jean needs to, as the other ambassador on the call, because Janet and Jim are both ambassadors, but Jean, I think, ought to go.
Yeah,
And-
that's what I was going to
Okay.
ask Jean next. Yeah.
And then, of
Jean?
course, Lisa.
Hey, I'm Jean Dudek. I can't recall the year that I started coming to what was then called the festival gathering, but it was when we started meeting in Chevy Chase, which is walking distance from my house, actually. And I think
Wow.
I've been to all of them ever since.
Wow.
Let's see, and I'm in a guild, the Maryland, D.C., Northern Virginia Guild. I'm not sure where Julie and Scott and well, I do know where Flo is from. But if you're near us, you can join us. Hello, Flo. I met Flo online at the online guild meeting, which I was glad of because she's kind of geographically close to some people there. What do I want to say? Yeah, it's fun. And those of you who are first timers, have you noticed how all the people on here are laughing and goofing around with each other? It's like, yeah, we like being with each other. And I hope you get that feeling too when you come to the conference.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 2015 that we started in Chevy Chase.
And in the true
Sounds about
spirit,
right.
in the true spirit of the first will be last, Lisa Larson Hill, president of the board, you can wrap this all up for us.
First of all, I just want to say, Florence, Julie, and Scott, we are so thrilled you're here. And if you could notice the people around here, how many people showed up because they are so excited to see you and to welcome you.
Closer to your mouth, yeah.
I have a very small voice, excuse me. Sorry about that. So I just want to warmly welcome you. I don't know if you know too much about biblical storytelling, and we have a lot of fun together, but we're also very serious about the Bible. And that's what I think brings us together, is because we are not talking about denominations. We're not talking about our differences. We're talking about what unites us, and that's the Bible. And so the Bible is the Bible. And so when we tell the stories and we speak them, I've had people come up to me when we tell stories at church and say, I've heard that story my whole life. This is the first time I really heard it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that the thing about biblical storytelling is that we have this amazing group that's the scholars that advise us and help us to understand what the Bible means, what was the context, what was going on. And so that when we tell it, we have the opportunity to really speak it. And then when we tell it, there's something that happens to you and to the people who are hearing it. And it just makes the Bible come to life. And this person, I've heard this said a couple of times. This woman was 80 years old. And I was telling the story of the Christmas story. And she heard it all her life, but this is the first time she heard it. So I think the thing is that you're going to experience a tremendously fun group of people that we all have in common something very important right now, and it's about bringing light into the world. And don't we need that right now? So
Now, I'm sorry to interrupt or to cut you off, but I'm a bit of a timekeeper. And we are already at
all I wanted to say.
7:57.
That's all I wanted to say, Shelley.
We haven't even gotten into the meat of the meeting. So the first thing I want to say to our new folks is, are you okay with our continuing time-wise, going beyond? Okay. Because now we'd really like to hear from you. We'd like to hear how you came to hear of us, what you're hoping to get out of the conference, how you're feeling about meeting this group of people, just what churches you currently attend, what's your experience with storytelling, all that kind of stuff. So does somebody want to go first? Scott, did I just see you raise your hand?
Yes,
Not quite, but we'll count that. Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
I am again Scott Stein. I'm a Lutheran pastor in far northern Wisconsin, a few miles off of Lake Superior. I've been there about 25 years, and I'm currently in the midst of a sabbatical this summer.
Okay.
And so I'm currently in Toronto, but I will be meeting you obviously in Baltimore shortly. And so I'm both interested in it in terms of preaching and delivering the story. I think that there's some real potential for teaching storytelling to others within the congregation, so that it's others doing that. And a piece of what I'm preparing for as part of my sabbatical is to do some wild church kinds of experiences. And I think one key for that to be grounded in Christian story is the story itself, delivered in a different way than we typically do it in a congregation. Though maybe our typical may change following this conference, but I'm very much looking forward to learning. And I've begun Tom's book. I read the first few chapters at least, and there's a lot packed in there, even in the first part, in terms of how to go about preparing and what it means to tell the story and to really dig deeply into the text and be able to share that in an effective way. So I'm looking forward to meeting you all in person shortly.
Thank
Well,
you.
we are as well. Thank you. Thanks so much. Florence, you're unmuted, so I'm going to you next, if that's okay.
Yes, that's fine. I'm a new pastor in Western New York. I have two churches, and when I was growing up, I went to summer camp all the time. And at night, they would tell the stories. And I fell in love with that. And I've always wanted to do that because, like you're saying, it transformed what was dry in the book into something living and beautiful. And it didn't matter whether we were Methodists or Presbyterians or Catholic or whatever, it was just the story being proclaimed. And I really would like to get into it. I have worked most of my life in uh, retail, which means that I have a very calming voice and I put people to sleep and calm them down, which is not the best thing for storytelling. But in the last year, I have been told that a lot. But in the last year, I have being a new pastor, I just hit my 1 year mark. Being a new pastor, I have gotten out of that a little bit and I'm getting more into extemporaneous and things like that. So I'm really hoping that I can learn and enjoy. And I've watched a few of the epic tellings on YouTube, and it really does bring the story to life. So I am super excited to be joining this year.
We're excited to have you too. Julie?
Yeah. I'm Julie O'Neill, and I live in Alexandria, Virginia, so not very far from Eugene. Um, I'm a retired naval officer, human resources, Florence, so I have that calming HR voice. And I retired in 2017 after 28 years.
Wow.
At that time, I had been ordained in the Community of Christ Church, which is a lesser known Christian church, a member of the Council of Churches, but National Council of Churches, but lesser known. I got ordained in 2002 after 9/11, and as a lay minister. But my church didn't require me to go to seminary. They had correspondence and seminar courses, right? So I told myself in 2002 that after I retired from the Navy, I would go to seminary. And I did. And I retired in 2017. In January of 2018, I started at Wesley, which is in Massachusetts Avenue, right in DC. And that's where I met Jean. She was a TA at the time. And I remember when you were researching your book, so yay you for getting it done. Um, And I got a master's in theological studies. But the reason this is important to this is because my first semester, maybe my second semester, I took a biblical storytelling class from Tracy Radosevic.
Ah,
And at that time, I told myself, okay, put a pin in this. And when I graduate from Wesley and things have calmed down, I will go back and I will go to ABS, the Academy for Biblical Storytelling. Um, so I took a long time getting my MTS done. And after COVID, I came out and I was co-pastoring this little church that we've got in DC. And then my mom came down with a heavy dose of Alzheimer's. And I had to get out of the co-pastoring because I've got two stepkids that I had to raise and get out of the house, and mom and dad in Kansas. So I was driving back and forth. Um, and everything got put on hold until this year when I said, this is it. My stepson, the youngest, is on his way. He's graduating, going to college. Mom passed away in January, and dad is a little more stable. This is the time when I can devote to storytelling and learning all of that. What made me want to be a good storyteller was because these two kids, my two stepkids, I came into their lives when they were 5 and 7. They are 18 and 20 now. Were baptized Presbyterian, never heard the Bible, never went into a church. And trying to share with them stories that they were very resistant to hearing. I didn't want these things to get lost. So I've tried to incorporate that into starting with Advent season, right? Tried to incorporate all of these stories in, but I've become a little passionate about making sure these stories don't get lost. And bringing them to the forefront of our worship experiences. So never been a storyteller, really excited and a little nervous. I'm happy to be here.
Well, if I can just jump in very quickly. First of all, Julie, good to see you. And there are actually quite a lot of people in the network who went to Wesley. So you may be seeing more people you know. And since you are nearby, our guild is having a meeting by Zoom online on Monday the 13th. Would you like at noon? Would you like me to send you the login information?
Yes, please.
I will do that.
Well, I can
Julie,
already hear.
Sorry, Shelley, can I also say, Julie, there's Madeline Campbell, who is, I believe, retired from the Navy as well, who's a member. Isn't that true? She was a pastor in the Navy? I'm pretty sure. Anyway, there is someone else who may be able to speak really your language when it comes to the Navy coming to the conference.
And she's a Wesley graduate.
Oh, there you go.
And you're going to really feel at home at the MCC because it's very naval-esque.
Yes, it is.
A maritime conference center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know if it's just the Navy, but they have the best food of any conference center we've ever been in.
well, let's move into some real information. Now, that just kind of practical information. I'm going to ask board members and ambassadors, let us get through this part. Like, let Mary Beth and me handle this part, please. And then the next part, we're going to ask you to give information about some of the stuff that goes on at the conference. Does that sound good, everybody?
Yep.
Okay. So the first question I have is everyone staying at the MCC? Of the three of you, are you all staying at the MCC? And have you made your room reservation? Yes, okay, that's great. That's wonderful.
I think I saw Scott shaking his head no, but
Yeah, I'm actually
yes.
staying down the block, but
I'm
reservation
sorry.
is made.
See, I thought you had your hand raised and I thought you were saying yes. So there you
That's
go.
okay.
There you go.
I'm not reading your body language. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But you know you've got a room reservation is the main
Yeah.
thing. Okay, great.
Okay, so this is pretty important too. If you're staying at the MCC, you know that your meals are provided Wednesday lunch through Friday breakfast. So
In
you
summer,
kind
it's
Mary Beth,
Monday too. Never mind.
Shelley, this is what happened last year. Don't
Monday
be in
through
charge of
Wednesday. You said Friday, Monday lunch through Wednesday. Through Wednesday.
and Wednesday lunch is not provided.
Correct.
No.
Wednesday breakfast, right.
That's
And
it.
if you're, and Scott, because you're staying at another site, but your lunches on Wednesday and Thursday will be a part of the conference. No?
Monday,
That's
Tuesday.
the wrong days of the week, guys.
Keep saying the wrong
This
days
is
of
the
the week.
first time we're doing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. This is
Yeah. So your
That's just-
Monday and Tuesday lunches are part of your conference fee, okay?
Okay.
The other thing you should be aware of, and this will apply to you as well, Scott, even though you're staying in another hotel, the MCC provides snacks at 2 times a day. And honestly, if you miss breakfast, that morning snack time, you can get enough to eat breakfast. So Scott, if you can wait that long, you could get your breakfast as part of your snack. And it's very generous, lots of choices. There's the lot of food, and the food is good. This is, yeah. Okay.
Food is good.
And they're sensitive to food needs too. There's gluten-free and vegan,
Vegetarian,
and,
yep.
vegetarian. So they're sensitive to that. That's available.
Oh, that's good. One thing that's very near and dear to me is I'm a person who gets cold easily. So for those of you and everyone, I advise you to bring a sweatshirt or a sweater because some of the meeting areas can be quite cool. And you're there for an hour and a half. You want to be warm enough, So I really urge you to bring something and to take care of yourself. If you get tired, you're allowed to be tired and you can miss something. You can go, do whatever you want. Take a walk, take a nap, take some notes. You're fine. There's no one's watching you like that. So take care.
And are any of you arriving Sunday night? You are, Scott, are you as well?
Yeah.
Because correct
I'm
me.
actually arriving Saturday because it's part of the abs. We're going to meet ahead of time.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Carol, but I believe it has been our practice that you can register Sunday night. That will be in the hotel lobby where you check in for rooms. Like it's right where you enter. So, yeah, registration will begin that Sunday night if you want to get that done.
And you'll be able to register for workshops. We weren't able to get that going online this year, but it's pretty easy. So you'll just see, you'll be shown the process of registering for the workshops and you'll be all set.
And it might be helpful for you to go online and review the descriptions of that will facilitate the process. Like if you have a couple of things in mind, that'll certainly speed the process up.
Shelley, can I say one more thing? If they've got a favorite Bible story, there's a segment, 2 segments in the program.
We got it. We got it.
Got it. Good.
Hold on.
That's the fun part.
Yeah. Is anybody coming by train or plane? No. Why? Because there is a shuttle, but if you guys don't need to know about that, that's fine. We can skip over that.
Shelley knows how cold I get, so she actually slipped this in again. Remember to layer. Bring sweatshirt or sweatshirt.
Oh,
rooms can be chilly.
Yes, they can. And then the thing I want to remind all of you of is Monday. The conference starts at 11, right? 11, 10, at 10?
Earlier than that. Sorry. Oh, it's the very thing I haven't got in front of me. It starts, I beg your pardon. The new attendees orientation is 9 till 9:30.
Okay, that's
So
what I
regis-
need.
yeah.
So from 9 to 9:30, we will meet. I hate to say this, but there's a bar area.
We like to get started early.
The maritime types, it's the Maritime Conference Center. They like the bar, so not the storytellers. Oh no. So we'll meet in that area. It's right off the lobby at 9 o'clock. We'll give you a quick orientation and we will lead you then to the main area where all the rest of the conference activities take place. It's a little tricky getting there the first time, but once you get it down, it's very easy. All right? Is everything clear so far? Clear as mud. Yeah. Because now I would like to talk a little about NBSI speak, the words we use that might not make sense to people outside. So, what is a scholars conference? Who wants to talk about scholars conference? You'll hear
Or
that
seminar.
thrown around. A scholars seminar. Who can define? Now you guys can speak. Who wants to speak to that? Jim,
Okay.
you're muted.
No, I'm not mute. Oh, Jim Stahl.
Jim Shaw.
Or Carol can. Anyway, the Scholar Seminar is a fairly small group of, less than 20, around 20 or so, group of people that will mainly get together. It used to be before the conference. This year it's after the conference, to mainly dive deep into the stories for the epic in the following year. So they have a list of, what is it, 4 years out, something like that, of possible epics. And so there's somebody that there's some Greek scholars, there's some Hebrew scholars, and they also bring in I think Kevin was the storyteller last seminar. Is that right? Am I remembering right? And Jim Sterner was no. Oh, okay. Jim Sterner was at one time, and others. So we hear from different people in the seminar. Like 4 people will tell the same story, just so that we get a feel for a different translation. Somebody will do their own translation, and we'll just dive into it. But we meet periodically too on Zoom. This is the in-person meeting.
And many of the scholars, or a few of them at least, are leading workshops.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and don't they support one another's work beyond just what they do in around epic telling and all of that? They share the research that they're doing and support one another, right? I'm not
They
making
do.
it up, right?
They do.
Okay, so now you know about scholars content and abs, as Julie referred to it. I'm going to do that so I can get some abs. I think that would be a good thing. Who has been an ABS student? Oh, that's okay, Jim, why don't you tell what ABS is?
The Academy for Biblical Storytelling. It's a year-long course led by Tracy Radosevich, and it's partly online and partly in person. We had in-person time after the conference, and then again at the end of the year in smaller groups. And it is basically baptism by fire, introduction to biblical storytelling, where you really are held accountable for learning the curriculum that Tracy provides. It's fun. It's great. You're with a bunch of people that are really committed to doing more than just the conference. And culminates in a 1 hour performance that is taped that Tracy reviews. And I won't tell you about the quiz, the test, but anyway, it's a really good immersion into biblical storytelling. And then there's a master's course too that you can take. And then it becomes a 2-year course. But the first year course is part-time, done through a year, through a year.
Yeah, ABS didn't always exist in my experience with NBSI. And one of the things that's been amazing to me about it is to have seen someone tell before they went through ABS and then to see how they grow after being through the program. It's unbelievable. It really is transformative, I think. Okay, so highlights of the conference. Who wants to talk about our keynote this year?
I think
Amy?
I'm happy to
Yeah,
speak
Carol,
a little
talk
bit about Amy.
Yeah.
I have been corresponding with Amy fairly infrequently, but she's only a young woman and is married, but there's plenty of her work on YouTube if you want to have a bit of a taste of what she is. She has specialized in Job, and she talks a lot about, now I had my note here before and now I've flipped it over to something else. No, it doesn't matter. She's going to be talking about wounded wholeness, which is the theme of the conference. So she's going to talk about how, and with reference to the book of Job. I did see one of her YouTube pieces, and she talks about the students she teaches in her university, and she, every year at the beginning of the term, she asks them, "What do you dream for the world?" And she said for the first year, last year I think it was, or the year before, the students could only come up with stuff that had already been invented. She was quite surprised at how lacking in vision or even dreams they had. And it occurred to her that this cohort of students were the first ones who had been, and it's an experience that happens in America, it doesn't happen here, so I'm not familiar, but it's to do with having to go through metal detectors to go into the schools. And she said she realized that was the first cohort where they have never experienced the freedom of walking into a campus that hasn't got metal detectors. So she'll talk, she sounds fascinating, and I'm very interested in her. We think she'll have a lot to say about young people, our churches, why they're not in our churches perhaps, or how we might be able to engage with younger people. So I think she's going to be excellent.
And she'll do 3 presentations.
She will, yes. 3 1-hour presentations, and we've asked her to do maybe a 10-minute before it finishes, within the hour, a 10-minute questions if there are any. But we've noticed in the past that we're so interested in our keynote speakers that we're happy to hear them speak for the whole hour and then try and get onto them up, in the breaks. So I think she's exciting.
Does anybody want to talk about what lighting the fire means? Kevin, you're muted. Don't forget to unmute. Unmute, Kevin.
Unmuted?
There you go.
Yep.
We can hear
Okay.
you now.
Lighting the fire is very close to my heart because it's really what drew me in. Besides Phyllis Tickle, which I already mentioned, when I was the first year I was there, Suzanne, who's one of our longtime members, was always in charge of it. And I don't know if it was the first or the second year, but she invited me to host it one evening. And so that was kind of what drew me into that, to really going to it. And I've missed a few, but I've been to pretty much every one of the lighting the fires. And the thing about it is that it's not just for biblical storytelling. You can tell any kind of a story. It's open to anyone and any kind of story. And so that makes it interesting. But also for first timers and young ones like me at the time, young at storytelling. I'm not a young man, but um, it just it's a safe place to give it a shot. And everyone is there for you. They're there for you. They're listening to you and your story, no matter if it's biblical or what it is, and we're there for you. So it's just a really great thing. It happens late at night, so that's the downside. It's also the good side because by that time we're all just having a good time, just being together. And but it's really been a great thing. And I hope you all give it a shot, the first one, and come and share your stories.
Okay.
Thanks.
Now we can talk about favorite Bible stories too. That's on the schedule. Who um who haven't we heard from? Tanya, can you speak to what favorite Bible stories is about?
Well, it's pretty much just like it sounds. If you've got a favorite Bible story that is near and dear to your heart for whatever reason, you can sign up to tell that during the hour or so that I don't know if it was a full hour last year, but however long it was.
45 minutes.
45 minutes. Thank you, Carol. And yeah, you can tell that Bible story. Last year, and the preferred version I think for NBSI is officially the NRSV. So that's our updated edition now, but it's that's what they encourage you to use for the epic telling. But whatever version that is fine for the favorite Bible stories. Last year, I did. I actually, long story, but one of the members of the Scholar Seminar is also my advisor for my Doctor of Ministry degree. And I had a class with him where I worked on my own translation of Jairus's daughter and the woman with the blood flow from Mark. And so I told my own translation last year for that, and it was really fun. So
wow.
Yeah.
And just to say, there are two segments on the program, one on the Monday and one on the Tuesday, one for 45 minutes and one for 50. So you sign up at registration for your favorite Bible story.
And Carol,
we'll fit as many in as we can.
Do you know how long you can, is it a 5-minute, 8-minute?
We hadn't put a time on it, but I imagine most of the Bible stories are fairly short. So we would hope it would be fairly short so we can fit as many voices in as we can. But
okay.
I mean, I think that's going to be a little bit free flowing and
nice. Okay.
See how
Whereas
it goes.
lighting the fire is 8 minutes.
Right.
Yes, there's a definite for lighting the fire.
Okay, how about Jim? Jim Sterner. You can tell us tell these wonderful folks what the epic telling is all about.
Well, every year before the year, our biblical scholars choose a book of the Bible to be told in concert. And so usually the second night of the festival gathering, which is now called the conference, we tell a book of the Bible. This year, it's going to be a little different because this year we're doing a weaving of Ezekiel and Revelation. And although the passages kind of complement each other. So it'll be about an hour and 15 minutes with a talk back afterwards. One of our biblical scholars will host a talk back. And each teller tells from memory their portion, and they work really hard. They start practicing about a month ahead of time because they're doing it for a big group, and we'll do it in the auditorium. And it's really quite spectacular. It's not directed by anybody, and people make choices and people make decisions, and they come with their story, and it's pretty. What's nice about the epic telling is that it's polished. It's kind of a polished look at the story. So people really do. They rehearse, they practice, they get it together, and so it's a little bit more polished than somebody learning a story in a workshop. And so we try to put our best foot forward that night and create something that is really special.
Are there other things or terms or just information that any of us who have been around a while, any of you can think of that we have not covered?
The Nook, the Nook,
Oh, the Nook.
the Nook.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah. Who wants to say what the Nook is all about? Who has either Jean, do you feel comfortable?
I think Carol's getting ready to talk about the Nook.
No, well, you could too, Jean.
Go ahead, Carol.
It has changed in the last couple of years with our brilliant Jim suggesting that we call it the mall, where people can shop. But we've had to actually put it into the program because it won't be there won't be people available all the time, as it has happened in the past. We've had the Nook open and wonderful volunteers, beautiful Elaine for, I don't know, 20 something years ran the Nook and has retired. And so last year we had to we couldn't find anyone to actually take on that enormous role. So we've actually just put it into the program as a time when you can go to the mall, talk to authors. For example, our president, Lisa, has written a new book called The Daughters of Zelophehad. And so Jean's already got it. Last year, Jean's book came out and people were able to talk to her about it, buy a copy and have it autographed by the author. So we will have some standard books there from our Tom Story Journey and possibly Richard Swanson, but for the most part, it will be the authors behind their desks and our ambassadors talking about what they do to help promote the network.
It's kind of an evolution of a bookstore, wouldn't you say? But with, it's gotten to be a little, just as bookstores have evolved, it's kind of, so, yeah. What about, are you guys now, you guys meaning Florence, Julie, and Scott, are you overwhelmed now with all this information or good?
You have
You're not
questions? Do you have questions that are lingering?
Yeah. What questions do you still have that we didn't address?
Well, I have
my only go ahead. You go.
Okay, I wrote down a couple questions because you guys keep mentioning things and I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
Is it always in Baltimore or is it move around?
Well, it has moved around in the past, but we have been in Baltimore for how many years now? The last
about
5 years. And honestly, it's not, I'm not saying that we wouldn't move again, but I don't think there's anything on the horizon for a number of reasons. There's no guarantee that we will stay there, but I know, for example, we'll be there in 2027 again.
It's one of those things, sometimes things move around and you've mentioned a couple different places.
Right.
And I'm like, does it move every year or next year Alaska? Oh,
no. Yeah, next year Alaska. That's right.
Someone has actually suggested we actually go to Canada because unfortunately our Canadian brothers and sisters have not exactly boycotted, but well, I guess you would call it boycott because of the political situation. They will not come to the US. So a suggestion might be that we actually do it in Vancouver. Who knows?
Wow. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. I mean, we are international, so we could come to Australia.
I'd love you to come to Australia. Good luck with that one. I'd love it.
Yeah.
But you had a question.
God.
Oh yeah. My only question wasn't directly about the conference, but I was interested in ABS. I don't know if it's too late to make that happen for the coming year. I knew I had to be here first, but
the person to really answer that question is Tracy, the dean. She will be at the conference.
But what I can tell you, Scott, is they offer the first year and the master's class on alternate years.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm in the first level of abs this year. It won't be offered in 2027. It will be offered in 2028.
Okay. All right.
You
So
would,
this year
you
will be
would
better.
register for it in October of 2027.
Okay.
Okay.
It's
I like
worth
it,
the
Julie.
wait.
You answered his question. Yay.
It's worth the wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So are we wrapped up here? I mean, can we wrap up now?
Other questions?
We're good? Okay, we would like to close by reciting together the mission of the network of biblical storytellers. And just to refresh your memories, folks, the mission is to
encourage
everyone
to
learn and
and
tell
biblical stories.
Try that again.
So now everybody, ready?
Do it.
To
encourage
everyone to
learn
learn
and tell
how
biblical stories.
stories.
So with that on our hearts and this wonderful energy that has been generated here, I can't wait. I know we all feel the same way. Can't wait to meet in the person, Florence, Julie, and Scott. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to contact any of us. I think you each have an ambassador who's been assigned to you, right? So you can start with them.
Thank you, Janet.
Mary Beth, do you have any last?
No, I can't wait. I think I might start packing.
I'm getting my
If I wait
suitcase
too
down.
long, I'll forget something, I'll
Because she
do it right.
layers so much. She's got a lot, she's got a layer. So she'll have a lot of
I have to layer.
Yeah.
And for the newbies, can we say that these two beautiful women call themselves by heart and often tell in tandem.
Yes.
They are thoroughly entertaining, thoroughly professional, and absolutely a delight. So don't miss their workshop if you can.
I forgot to say at the beginning that I'm the treasurer. I was afraid you all would just be like, she's the treasurer. I was just afraid you'd turn your computers off. No. I forgot to say that. Okay. Okay. So with that, we wish you all traveling mercies to the conference. Jim, we've got so many pastors here. Who would like to just close us with a short word of prayer?
That'd be nice.
I will. Go ahead, Kevin. Okay. Kevin, go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
We give you praise, Lord, for being here together tonight, learning some new names and seeing some new faces and connecting with all of us. We do pray that we will all have a good travel and we will have a great conference, and we look forward to the Spirit moving in our hearts and in our network. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
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 Thank you.
Good
Jean,
night,
I'm going to email you and ask you to do a prayer for me, please.
Yeah.
Is she still there? Thanks, everyone.
Yes. Sleep
you.
well.
Good night.
Thank you
Good
for
night.
your time.
Namaste.
Janet, see you soon.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Okay. I love the idea of the art gallery.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye all.
Bye.
Bye. I'm still here.
Bye, Scott.
Bye.
There you go.
Bye.
Okay.
Ruth.
There you
I'm
are
ending.
again.
Bye, Scott.
I'm ending the meeting, and I'll send out the recording. So,
Okay.
bye-bye.
Good to see you.